Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video is all going to be about impact, so I'm going to be sharing with you a great exercise to really help you nail your impact, feel like you're getting that ball turf strike that we really desire. Stay tuned to find out more. As mentioned, today's video is all going to be about impact. So I'm going to be sharing with you a really simple drill that you can do, whether it's at home, in the garden, or on the driving range, to really help you improve your quality of strike, making sure you get the ball turf strike that we're really looking for. Now, of course, I'm talking about an iron here, but actually this drill and this exercise and the movement pattern that we're creating would be relevant with any golf club. So what I'm going to be using is an impact bag, a smash bag here. Now, without buying one of these, but you can pick them up quite cheap and you just stuff them with some old towels or something along those lines. You could just use, if you had a big old cushion or something along those lines that you didn't need, you didn't mind hitting against it, it might well eventually tear, but just something firm enough that you can hit against. So the idea with this is to get that contact where I've got a very flat lead wrist. So for me as a right-handed golfer, we're talking about my left wrist here at impact, and I'm getting the feeling that my hands are leading the golf club into impact. The other sensations I'll get when I'm doing this is that I'm applying pressure really into my lead leg at impact, and I'm getting my, as I said, my flat left wrist, lead wrist, the feeling of my hands leading the golf club. What we don't want to get at impact, an undesirable move, would be my weight or my pressure moving away from the target towards my back foot, or the club catching up and passing my hands and I start to get this wrist position where we're almost getting this bit of cupping in the back of the lead wrist here. We actually want to try and get the feeling that if we were wearing a watch on my lead wrist here, or when I put my glove on here, that I get the glove logo pointing more down towards the ball, that I get this flatter lead wrist. Not only does that help me get this ball turf strike that we want, but it's making sure that I'm actually hitting it with the right amount of loft. Good players are slightly de-lofting their golf clubs when we're talking about a mid-iron here, whereas I see a lot of amateurs who return with the same loft, or worse still, adding loft on. And then we're getting a weaker ball flight, we're losing distance, and we start compromising strikes. So we might get somewhere we hit the ground first or miss the ground and strike slightly up on the ball. So what we're trying to get here is that real sensation of my lead side being very firm. I'm hitting into my lead leg and I'm getting that feeling that my hand, my lead hand here, is actually leading the golf club into impact. And what I would do, I think when I see most people doing these drills, they tend to be trying to hit the bag too hard. What we want to do is just a little movement. We're not going to put much into it, but then we're just going to try and get that sensation of our hands leading the golf club into impact and my pressure being into my lead leg. So again, little movement and just trying to get that feeling, this flatter lead wrist. It's a very different feeling to if I was adding loft or starting to scoop in here. If my pressure goes backwards, my hands stop, the club catches up or passes my hands, and we get this movement, it feels very different. It doesn't feel very solid, and you start to get that sort of vibration more into the wrist. This movement feels very solid, like you could just keep doing it, and you're really driving that club into the back of the golf ball. Again, that's giving us this right impact conditions. So once you've done some drills with the impact bag, I would then put the ball in the way, but I would just do it from a smaller movement. So I'd do a broken down movement really. I would get to the top of the swing. I would stop pre-impact. You'll have seen me do this before if you watched my channel before. I really like breaking that movement down into a smaller chunk. So from here and just getting that feeling of 1, 2, 3, hit. Now it's really important that although we want our pressure moving into my lead leg, and although I want my lead hand leading the golf club, I'm not trying to get my head ahead of the golf ball. So we could just use a tour stick. I've got one here between our feet, and just get the feeling that I'm staying over that line, that I'm not moving everything towards the target. So my head is staying back where it was, but my pressure is moving into my lead leg and my hands are definitely leading the golf club through impact. Let me try and hit one of those. So we're just going to do it from that small broken down movement. Pre-impact, 1, 2, 3. My head felt like it stayed back over that line. I definitely felt the pressure into my lead leg. My hands were leading the golf club. The divot is nice and shallow, but it's happening after impact that we really want to start to see. So just doing some simple drills that way before you build it into a full swing is a great way to start to improve your impact. Start with the impact bag, or as I said, a large cushion, something like that you could just use at home, before doing some small pump movements, before taking that into a full golf swing. So let me try and hit one fuller shot here. I've got a mid iron, I've got an 8-iron here, but I'm just trying to get that same sensation of that flatter lead wrist, almost my glove logo, pointing down towards the golf ball to get that ball turf strike that we really want. Felt a nice solid strike. Again, divot shallow, but happening after impact. Once you do some of those exercise, then hit some, then go back to the exercise, then hit some. So you break it in gradually. This is a great time of year. We're in winter time here. You can probably see some quite extensive leaf collection going on behind me. It's a great time of year, while the weather's not so good to get out on the golf course as much, to really start to improve your swing mechanics ready for next season. And impact, of course, is the key part here. Make sure you give those exercises a go. If you did enjoy the content video, give us a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel for all the other content every Tuesday, Thursday, as well as some Saturday specials. Cheers guys, we'll see you soon.